a city coming together.
Because of him, strangers became friends, communities became united.
A public memorial honoring Parker Wells.
This is not where we wanted to be.
Parents of neurodivergent students want answers after a mass exodus of staff at a Calgary private school. And the competition enticing artists to take their craft outdoors.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla DiGiuseppe.
Good evening. A touching tribute tonight at Municipal Plaza in the city's downtown. Hundreds of Calgarians coming together to mourn and honor 11-year-old Parker Wells, filled with music, speeches, and a loving reminder to his family that they are not grieving alone.
With new horizons to pursue.
Song filled the plaza steps from City Hall. Blue ribbon was handed out and tied around wrists and arms. Written messages for Parker and his family were read out. The vigil was a chance for the city to come together, acknowledge everything that has happened, that was felt, and everything that Calgarians collectively have carried in their hearts and minds for the past few weeks. Among the speakers were Calgary's mayor, the police chief, and advocates of Calgary's autism community, who joined several officials representing first responders, volunteer search groups, and politicians.
The search for Parker did not end the way that we all hoped that it would, but that does not change the fact that so many of you showed up when your community needed you.
An entire city and beyond is mourning a little boy who most of us never met but fell in love with. And it is my most sincere hope that you are feeling the entire city and beyond wrapping around you in a blanket of that love.
A special thank you to one of the searchers, Ashley, who found one of his shoes and alerted CPS. Again, we want to thank the Calgary Fire Department. You guys risked your lives to locate her son.
His story has done so much. It has raised awareness about how complex autism is. It really is a spectrum. And it's going to bring about change in the system where there might have been weaknesses. I mean, to leave behind that kind of impact is amazing.
What you heard there was part of an emotional audio message from Parker's parents thanking the city for its unwavering support in every way. The 11-year-old went missing July 16th, sparking a desperate search that sadly came to an end 1 week ago. That search will also be the subject of reviews by both the city and the Calgary Police Service. Jordan Canagan reports.
The search for Parker Wells gripped the city for 2 weeks, and hope remained until the very end.
Even though we have brought Parker home, there's still a lot of hearts hurting. There's still a lot of people deeply committed and in pain because of what has happened and what we've gone through as a city.
The 11-year-old went missing on July 16th in the Northwest, but the search quickly involved hundreds of people across most of Calgary.
I find it incredibly important for us to recognize the loss of Parker. Calgary came together in such an amazing way because we lost an amazing kid.
And as the city mourns Parker, it will also reflect on what could have been done differently.
In incidents like this, there's always going to be lessons learned, and so we will go back, we'll do an operational review, we'll do an investigative review, we'll reach out to our partners, and anything that we can do to be better will absolutely be on the table, and there'll be nothing off the table.
The police chief says that could include changes to how the service approaches Amber Alert exemptions after one was applied for and granted more than 2 days after the boy was last seen.
I'm certainly in support of the petition right now calling for an indigo alert as an example. There could be some other ways to be able to ensure that, especially recognizing the unique needs of autistic children, there's ways that we could improve.
Police say there is no criminal investigation and directed inquiries to the province, which has not responded to our requests for comment. Parker's body was found in a series of pipes in a culvert near Deerfoot Trail. City rules updated in 2018 requires storm outfalls to have steel bars at openings.
I'm also interested in the infrastructure piece to ensure that we're having our essential infrastructure safe. I'm thinking stormwater, ponds, culverts, and so on.
Jordan Canagan, CTV News, Calgary.
Families are seeking answers from a Calgary private school for neurodivergent students after a mass exodus of staff members. They want to know who will be running it and teaching their kids after the sudden firings and resignations with no explanation. Tyler Barrow has more.
Dana Corky says her family paid approximately $15,000 for her neurodivergent son to attend New Heights School and Learning Services, a hefty price tag for what she now says is the unknown.
Don't know the principal. I don't know any of the teachers other than the science teacher.
Corky, other families and staff have been asking questions since the school's principal was suddenly fired and escorted off the property on May 7th. Employees began asking questions about her dismissal, including 4 former staff members CTV has agreed to not identify as they fear career reprisal. One saying, staff members asked if there was any plan going forward. There was not. Another staff member said trust in governance was lost. 2 other teachers say they were also fired. Another 5 teachers and 7 support staff did not renew their contracts. That's 15 staff members of 40 at the K-12 school. Jobs are currently posted.
This is a lot of change, a lot of questions.
Iman is entering grade 12 and is one of 120 autistic students there.
Feel pretty uncertain going into a year that I should be very confident.
While parents want answers.
This is not where we wanted to be going into his last year of school.
The former principal did not want to be interviewed. The school's financial records show it received $4.5 million in provincial funding. The province told CTV News independent schools are responsible for the day-to-day operation of their schools and can make their own operational decisions. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, some Vulcan County residents are adding themselves to a growing list of Albertans opposing AI data centers in their regions. Council recently approved rezoning land for a site of a proposed development, but many in the area say their concerns about community impacts were ignored and they want the plan paused. Tim Brooke has details.
A slice of land about 180 kilometers southeast of Calgary is occupying a lot of Sylvia Farrant's mind.
Quite frankly, I'm terrified. I take my grandchildren down there all the time.
This Albertan owns a home in the Little Bow Resort, a lakeside community filled with full and part-time residents. Farrant says a new neighbor has the potential to disrupt the mall.
So we're against that location, right beside the Traverse Reservoir, right beside the environmentally sensitive area, right beside the Southern Alberta Bible Camp, right beside our homes.
Talk of an AI data center is dominating Little Bow conversations. Vulcan County Council recently approved rezoning 350 nearby hectares for a future industrial development.
We've lived here for 26 years with a beautiful lake and prairie, and we want to keep it that way.
The water, the noise, the light pollution, extra traffic, it's just, we don't want it.
At the end of the day, it's a business. County of Vulcan's a business. They get to collect a lot of extra taxes from this business, so they would be pro.
Residents aren't happy. They say the large majority of speakers opposed the rezoning in a public hearing and were flat out ignored. They're worried about the unknown size of the proposed data center, its reservoir water use, and noise. They also point out there's only one access road shared by their community, a Bible camp, and the rezoned land.
Fire spreads fast down there. It's windy, it's dry, it's not safe.
The Reeve tells us he's hoping all of those concerns are addressed when the landowner eventually applies for a development permit.
Anything commercial and industrial, it does have to go through a pretty robust process, and that's where the adjacent neighbors and people in the area get those answers.
Little Bow residents are now requesting a judicial review of council's decision. They should know more about the potential data center in the coming months. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Vulcan County.
CTV News reached out to the landowner for more information about the potential development, but we have not heard back. A new poll by Think HQ found just over half of Albertans would vote to ban all new coal mining activity in the eastern slopes. The survey found 52% would support the proposed ban, 25% are opposed, and 23% remain unsure. Support among decided voters rose to 68%. In Calgary, support is at 60%. It falls below 50% 52% in northern and southern Alberta, while central Alberta is the only region where opposition leads. The group Water Not Coal collected over 200,000 signatures, hoping to add the question in October's referendum. But Elections Alberta ruled the petition didn't meet the required number of valid signatures.
It's quite interesting. This is one that very likely would pass. It certainly points to preference among Albertans for greater restrictions, if not prohibition, on coal mining operations in the Eastern Slopes.
The online survey of 1,100 Albertans was conducted from July 16th to 21st with a margin of error of plus or minus 2.9 percentage points, 19 times out of 20. A bear warning has been issued for a campground in Banff National Park. The warning affects Rampart Creek Campground, which is along the Icefields Parkway northwest of Saskatchewan River Crossing. Parks Canada says staff were informed yesterday that a black bear investigated a campsite and obtained food that was being kept inside a tent in a bag marketed as bear resistant. The bear later made contact with the tent when no one was in it. Wardens have charged one camper with 2 offenses under parks regulations. All scented items, including food and hygiene products, must be stored in a vehicle, or some places provided bear-proof storage lockers. Multiple black bears have been frequenting the area, and staff are monitoring the situation. Danielle is in with our first look at the weather. We have a cooler summer day ahead of us.
Yeah, and thanks to these winds gusting up to 50 kilometers per hour out of the north, that's a chillier wind, so our temperature will not climb quite as high for tomorrow. Maybe you need a break from the heat. Well, tomorrow's your break. 22 degrees is our daytime high. Air quality health index at low, so good air quality throughout the day tomorrow. It will just be on the gusty side, mainly sunny with some cloudy periods at times. And then by tomorrow night, I do have to say, there will likely be some smokier air starting to creep in. So by Friday, certainly some poorer air quality on the way for then. We'll talk more about that coming up.
Danielle, thank you. The city has launched a new campaign focused on Stephen Avenue. Promotions and improvements to the area aim to attract more visitors. Stephen Avenue has had a lot of work over the past year as part of a revitalization project to replace aging underground utilities. The project was delayed briefly when businesses voiced concern they could be impacted by summer construction. The mayor says they're working to build a Team Calgary approach to help support local business.
We know that downtown vitality isn't any one single magic bullet. It's not just office conversions. It's not just support for events and festivals. It isn't just public safety. It isn't just investing in the nuts and bolts of the infrastructure underneath our feet. It has to be all of these things.
The revitalization work from Centre Street to 1st Street Southeast was finished just ahead of Stampede. Calgary Police also announced they were reopening their Stephen Avenue Safety Hub, which moved in late 2024. Just ahead of Calgary, a woman is leading the push for access to a new ovarian cancer treatment and the roadblocks facing patients.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
The price of gasoline is set to go up in September with the end of the federal gas tax holiday. The Canadian Taxpayers Federation released a Leger polling showing 63% of Canadians want the holiday to stay in place. Ottawa introduced the temporary relief measure on April 20th, which saw prices reduced by 10 cents per litre. The aim was to support Canadians during the conflict between the U.S. and Iran. The Taxpayers Federation says the costs of taxes add up over time.
At 27 cents per litre, that's around $20 every time you fill up a minivan, just in the taxes. It's around $30-ish every time you fill up a pickup truck, just in the taxes. So people need to know this.
Sims says the province should suspend its 13 cents per litre tax as well. The federal excise tax on gasoline is set to return on September 7th. Ottawa is taking the next step toward declaring the proposed West Coast Pipeline a project in national interest. The designation allows the federal government to fast-track approvals and bypass some environmental regulations. A new pipeline is a key part of an energy deal between Ottawa and Alberta. The roughly 1,200-kilometer pipeline would move crude oil from Alberta to a port near Delta, BC for export to international markets. A Calgary woman battling ovarian cancer is calling for access to a new treatment she says could give patients more hope. The drug has been approved by Health Canada, but a price dispute means it is not yet publicly funded in Alberta or other provinces. Mark Villani reports.
Tiffany Morin smiles through her mask, trying to stay positive even through the pain of chemotherapy. The Calgarian is one of more than 3,000 Canadian women diagnosed with ovarian cancer annually.
I have had 5 surgeries, chemotherapy, and 8 to 9 different hormone treatments that I've tried. I feel very fortunate that I'm here today.
According to the Canadian Cancer Society, the ovarian cancer survival rate is less than 50% after 5 years. Now, 8 years later, at the age of 46, Morin is advocating for access to a new targeted therapy. It's called Elahere, administered through IV infusion every 21 days for women with recurrent ovarian cancer and who no longer respond to standard chemotherapy. The drug received a positive recommendation from Canada's drug agency, but price talks have stalled, meaning provinces, including Alberta, are not moving forward with public funding.
It seems kind of ridiculous that that's what's happening right now, that women could be losing their lives.
The drug costs between $27,000 to $29,000 per cycle, but patient advocates argue that the impact could outweigh the hefty price tag.
At the same time, we can reduce side effects, we can reduce hospital visits, we can not only keep people alive, but keep them as active, productive members in our society and our economy.
It's not only important to consider the cost, but the value they provide, whether they help patients live longer, live better.
Alberta's government says it's closely following the national drug review process for Elahere. If the manufacturer provides a new offer that aligns with Pan-Canadian Pharmaceutical Alliance pricing expectations, negotiations could be reopened through the established process. Alberta remains committed to working with provincial and territorial partners to support access to innovative cancer therapies. It's why patients like Tiffany Morin are holding on to hope, not just for herself, but for an entire community.
We have goals to make as much positive change as we can.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, there is no official date set for negotiations about Elahere, but talks could restart if the manufacturer submits a new offer or if the Pan-Canadian Pharmaceutical Alliance agrees to re-engage. Danielle's up next with her Skywatch forecast. A cooler day ahead, but still summery. Details next.
Well, today was one of the hotter ones of this heat stretch for this week. We got to a high of 26 in the city and Drumheller and Lethbridge for today. That's a couple degrees above normal for Calgary for sure. 27 was the high in Brooks, Milk River and Pincher Creek, and 28 for Medicine Hat. We did have some clouds peek in at times, and this is all part of a bigger system that is off right now in northern Alberta that's starting to make its way down. Now, we're looking at stable weather in much of the south right through until the end of Saturday, and that's thanks to the ridge of high pressure that will continue to build in. So by Friday, we're going to get another push of air from the States, and that will get us up to a daytime high, much like what we had today. However, because we have that system going on to the north of us over these next 24 hours, so it will push its way into Edmonton for tonight, and then we're going to see some clouds creep in. So we'll have some sunshine, but at times it will be cloudy, and we're also going to get this wind from the north because of that system off to the north. So we'll get up to 50-kilometer-per-hour gusts in the city tomorrow, and that's that cooler wind of the north. So temperatures will not be able to climb quite as high for tomorrow. We're looking at a high around 22 degrees. All right, as we head into late Friday, so you can see by your timestamp here, Friday night, small chance of getting any active weather in Calgary, but up the QE2 and off to the east, late Friday night, that's a possibility. And the chance gets a lot greater heading into Saturday, especially Saturday morning. QE2 and then off to the east. All right, let's talk smoke for a second here because we are low on that air quality health index. So right now we have good air quality in the city and will remain at that lower end, so that nice air quality, breathable air for all of tomorrow. Tomorrow later in the day, though, you can see by your timestamp here in the afternoon hours, we'll have some smokier air start to creep into the far south, and then it will start to make its way into Calgary tomorrow night. By Friday, we will likely get quite smoky at times in the city. All right, so for when you look at that longer range forecast, 22 degrees for tomorrow, and that's thanks to that cooler wind of the north, gusting up to 50 kilometers per hour at times, especially throughout much of the morning, and will likely even really kick in for tonight. All right, when we look at the air quality health index throughout the day, low. Tomorrow night, likely creeping up to moderate, and then by Friday, we will be moderate to potentially even higher risk on that air quality health index. Friday, a high of 26, mid-20s still for Saturday, and then we cool down to 23 on Sunday, and by that point, that does come with the risk of thunderstorms.
All right, Danielle, thanks so much. Next, Teddy the eagle takes flight with some unintended consequences. Next, how some sharp-eyed residents helped locate him after going missing in southern Alberta. There's a big painting competition taking place in Fish Creek Provincial Park this weekend. The event is called Canada Paints Plein Air, and last year it saw more than 50 painters compete for prize money. Plein air painting is where artists go outside of their studio space and paint what they see. Organizers are hoping to attract local and international painters to the event and make Calgary a destination for artists.
So the two tiers of the competitive side of it are the wild card competition, which is the free for all, anybody can join. But then the higher end is the more seasoned ones, and we're attaching a big prize to that because we're trying to attract plein air painters from around the globe.
Levitt is also one of the judges for the event. He says the public is welcome to come to Fish Creek Park Saturday to watch the painters in action. A young bald eagle has landed safely back into the caring hands of a Southern Alberta Conservation Centre after going missing for days. Teddy is a juvenile who came to the Alberta Birds of Prey Centre in Coaldale last summer. Teddy began performing in the centre's demonstration flight shows tethered to a safety line. The line was eventually removed, and during one show, a big gust of wind blew him away and out of sight. After putting a call for help out on Facebook, a tip came in on the 5th day, which led staff to Teddy in Lethbridge.
And as soon as Teddy saw Colin, instant recognition, he ran along the side of the semi-truck, and then Colin put out his glove and he jumped down and landed on his glove, and then he was immediately given some food.
Teddy has already started performing in the flight shows once again, but staff are keeping him on the safety line until he builds his confidence back up. Teddy's adventures. All right, that's it for us here at CTV News at 11:30. Thank you for watching. We will see you soon. Good night.